Yeah, I mean, this does not forget. And I know we're praising this move by AJ Preller, but that's just also not forget. Um, you know, it's he is still, in my eyes, viewed as a guy that has never gotten it done and never built a cohesive roster to win consistently. And he's done a lot of things that I think any other GM in baseball would have been fired over. This is so just because I like this trade a lot for this team doesn't mean all of a sudden it's like Preller gets get an extension. Like there's still a lot that could happen this year, and a lot of things could change, and they still need to make the postseason. Like this does not guarantee them a postseason spot. It doesn't. It gives them a better chance to make the postseason. It gives them a better chance to have an opportunity to not only get in the postseason but make some noise in the postseason with a pretty good rotation if healthy. But just because Preller has made this move doesn't mean that all is like just forgotten in my eyes. It's still a situation where he's on the hot seat. He's definitely on the hot seat still.
My opinion on that has changed. And let me explain.
Are you going to buy in We Trust Preller shirt?
Not buy it. I'm going to make him and try to profit off him. But what I'm going to do, and by the way, if you want new wrap-up show merch, click the link pinned in the top of the chat. Shameless plug. Okay? We have new wrap-up show merch and John and Jim merch. Click the link pinned in the top of the chat for the upcoming season. Hear me out. King 2025. Cease 2025. Schilt, who cares? 2025. You see what they're doing. It's not all eggs one basket, all eggs two baskets. After 2025, your core is 34. Bogarts, you have through 2025 here to hit it. I'm not saying you can fail in 2024, but I'm also not saying you have to do all the things we want them to do in 2024. I think he now has 2 years. You can like or hate it, and that's my opinion. And I'm doing it based on where you were going there about him being on the hot seat. I don't know if he is. I think when you have a mechanism to make a trade like this, you're trading away 3 of your top 10 prospects. A lame duck GM? You see what I'm saying? A lame duck GM? And that's why I'm asking, is he lame duck? 3 of your top 10 prospects. You've traded Juan Soto. Lame duck GM? Traded Juan Soto? I think he has 2 years. That's my guy. He's got 3 years. He's under contract for 3. I think he has 2 years to get this thing done, whatever that means.
I think he has multiple years only if they win this season.
When you say win, you mean make postseason?
Correct.
We can argue that as the season goes. I may end up agreeing with you. We'll see what record it takes to get to the postseason. If it's 84 wins and they don't get there, okay, maybe that's not good enough then that they didn't get to 84 wins. But if it's like the American League and it takes 88 or 89 and he ends up with 85 or 86, I don't know. I could be convinced one way or the other over the next 6 months. I don't know if he's going anywhere off an 85 and 77 season if they miss out.
Yeah, I mean, again, we'll have to see how. Yeah, we'll have to see how the season plays out. Like if there's a bunch of injuries and they still get to 85, 86 wins, it's like, whoa, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm.
But, we don't know the future of Ha-Seong Kim. Darvish is going to be, almost 40, right? All these players are a year older. Injuries. Like there's a lot of things that could be changed. I mean, think about where we were at last year this time. Completely different.
Who even knows? Yeah.
Completely different. So I think, yes, one, we have to watch the season play out for sure before we can definitively go one way or the other. But I do stand by, I think, like you said, the 2-year window, well,
it just feels like they've opened it up to a second year.
But yeah, yes and no from a standpoint of, I mean, if you lose again and you don't make the postseason again, coming off of last year,
that's 3 out of 4 years out.
Yeah, 3 out of 4 years, and you spent a boatload of money, even though the payroll got slashed by almost $100 million this year. You spent a boatload of money, and you've raised ticket prices a lot. Okay, now credit to the fans; they've sold out. Great, that's awesome, but still, you're raising ticket prices, and you don't make the postseason 3 of the last 4 years. That's a problem. And with Mike Schilt only being under contract for 2 years, that to me signaled like, okay, if this doesn't work this year and they don't make the postseason, it would be an easy, like, just We're done with Preller. We're done with Schilt. We're going a new direction. But it's also hard to do that when you have so much, like, invested. I get that point. You have so much invested in all
That's what
of
I'm
this.
saying.
I get
And
it.
that's how
It's
I
just,
felt. Honestly, I felt like 2024 was make or break until I realized, like, you got to think about it from this perspective. AJ Preller is pulling the strings on the future of the franchise, whether he's here or not. You traded Juan Soto for all kinds of future pieces. You
yeah.
traded for Dylan Cease, giving up a lot of future pieces. It just doesn't make a lot of sense to me that they then part ways from someone that's been so instrumental in such massive change. Again, I'm not saying it's not possible. If it goes completely sideways, of course it is possible. And I agree with you. His leash has been very long, and you could easily make the argument that other organizations would have parted ways a long time ago. But here we are today in San Diego, and he has players under control through 2025 that he has acquired or let go over the course of the last 6 months. It just, we'll see. We'll
That,
see. And
Leon makes a good.
it's true. It's true.
You make a good point, Leon. I mean, Preller hasn't won jack shit in his time as a general manager, but God, is he
He's,
entertaining?
he's made the wrap up show. I mean, let's be honest.
It really has.
Harv, thank you. He says if Preller realizes the importance of roster depth, he's the best GM in sports history. I mean, it's true. Everyone's got blind spots, and he does. The truth is, very few teams have won the way he's attempted to win with stars and names. Like, that's not baseball's way of winning. Typically, you don't just go out and acquire names and win a World Series. It has happened. Teams have been able to do it, but the Padres almost obsess over it. Like, it's always a name, an ace, a slugger, and it hasn't really worked out. And then we're sold on, well, international draft classes or prospects. But at the end of the day, what he likes to do is go splashy and go front line, but he doesn't like to go like eighth, ninth. He's not, I'm sure he is thinking about it, but you're never talking about the ninth player in the lineup or the fifth starter or the middle of the bullpen. You're always talking about, Juan Soto and Dylan Cease and Xander Bogaerts.
Yeah. And the only way like this is sustainable and it works is if his system hits. If like Jackson Merrill, like you
Yeah,
gotta,
he's going to need that one.
you're gonna need that one. It'd be nice if like a Graham Pauley turned into something.
Yeah,
It would
definitely.
be, I know Ethan Salas is viewed as the next coming of Pudge Rodriguez and Johnny Bench combined into one, but like you're gonna
Right.
need Ethan Salas to hit. You just are. You're gonna need these young. You're gonna need either a Lesko or a Snelling, one of those guys to hit.
Right.
You
I
just,
agree.
like you can't afford to continue down this path and not have your farm system contribute to the big league level. You just can't.
Mm-hmm.
And so we'll find out if that will happen this year because like we said this morning, there's going to be 6 rookies on this opening day roster. Now, 2 of them are from across seas, but still 4 of them are from within your system.
Yeah, we're talking about like Estrada in a bullpen replacing Steven Wilson. We're talking about Merrill, obviously. We're talking about Graham Pauley potentially. There's another name in there, right? We talked about it. Oh, like a Tyler Wade is probably on this roster.
Probably.
So there, yeah. I mean, 6 to 26. It's very interesting. It's a have and have not roster, which is AJ Preller. You got 10 guys making a fortune of money, 16 guys making nothing. That's what this team is. That's not atypical around baseball, but it feels exaggerated with the Padres. They have all their money tied up in 5 players. Mm-hmm. Almost all of it is tied up in 5 players. Can you win that way? We'll find out.
And we haven't really talked about him a lot, but I see his name in the chat right now, and a guy that is from the system, and we don't talk about him because all we do is talk about Ethan Salas, but Luis Campusano is a Preller guy. And
yeah,
you saw flashes of it last year with his bat, especially. And I think the improvement behind the plate defensively was a huge part of Luis Campusano's year last year. I mean, if he takes that jump, then that is a guy that I would absolutely put in the mix of system hitting. Like you need, like you get Campusano and Merrill to hit this year and both contribute, then you're off to you feel good about yourself because you're having guys from within your system contribute to the major league club in a big way, like starters roles. So yeah, Campusano's absolutely in that category with Merrill, with Pauley, with Estrada, with whoever else you want to put out there. Like, absolutely, he is in that mix for sure. As far as system guy goes, needing to contribute.